Welcome back to The Truth is Viral. I'm your host, Bob Powell, and the reason I'm not wearing a tie, I just got out of jail.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You play Russian roulette this way.
Deep down in places you don't talk about at parties, you want me on that wall. You need me on that wall.
Keep this frequency clear.
And now it's conspiracy. See, they've made that something that should not be even entertained for a minute. That powerful people might get together and have a plan. Doesn't happen. You're a kook. You're a conspiracy buff.
Let me tell you what, folks, it's been one hell of a day. I hope you don't mind if I make myself a fruity drink. I prefer guava nectar. Vodka of your choice. Blend repeatedly. You want to know what happened today? This is what happened today. You watch this. I'm going to blend. I'll be right back. Local radio personality Tim Thomas. Tim, a very good friend of mine. Matter of fact, he lives just right around the corner. When my house shook, his house shook. Can you tell me what happened when your house shook?
Well, I was laying on the couch with my 1-year-old, and she, we felt the shake, we felt the explosion. She woke right up, and I was like, what was that? So we went upstairs and checked on Mom, and Mom was okay. And then immediately after that, I'm like, I got to figure out what that was. So I posted on Facebook, what was that noise? Did anybody else hear it? And immediately I got responses. People were telling me they thought it was, there were 3 different scenarios I got out of it at least. One said Lafarge blasting, which I don't think it was because I've lived in the area for long enough. I've actually heard Lafarge blast, not that loud and not that big of an explosion. Number 2, they said it could have been a sonic boom from a jet. The thing I didn't hear after the boom was usually it crackles after a jet goes by at Mach 1, and it didn't crackle. It was just a straight-up explosion. And what was the third one?
Sinkholes.
Sinkholes. Yep, and I just don't think it could be a sinkhole. It made an explosion, so sinkholes, you'd feel the rumble, but you wouldn't hear a boom, and that's right. What we heard was a boom.
Now, this morning I went to the Alpena County Sheriff's Department, and I spoke with the undersheriff, and he said that his entire building shook. But after they sent out deputies to investigate the source of the sound, they couldn't find anything. And I heard the same story from the Alpena City Police Department, 9/11 Dispatch Center, and the Alpena Regional Combat Training Center told me that they had no planes in the air, much less any planes that were going supersonic.
Hi, Bob. This is Patricia calling from the Alpena CRTC, and we spoke yesterday. I was following up. You had a question about whatever that big boom was, and I've spoken to several people here on the base, and we haven't been able to determine what it was either, so it didn't happen here. But if I do come across anything, I will let you know, and have a good day. Bye.
And Lafarge, which is the largest cement plant in the world, told me that they weren't doing any blasting. So the source of this explosion is a complete mystery. Now, it was a large explosion. I mean, I've felt high explosive detonations. You know, it felt just like a 155 shell landing right down the block from us. And this was heard from Presque Isle down to Osneek and out to Hillman. That's 50 miles one way.
Even all the way to Lincoln. Somebody said Lincoln. They heard it. So that's another 20 miles. I mean, this was a huge explosion. Now, if it happened all simultaneously, that's something that I don't know. Everybody said they heard it, but they don't remember about what time it was. So was it multiple blasts, or was it one big blast that was heard forever? Where the source was, who knows? It could have been out in the middle of the Lake Huron. You never know. They could have had some kind of blasting going on out there, and it could have shook everything, you know, and even if it's far enough out there, we can still hear that.
Yeah. And I went to NOAA also this morning, and because somebody had forwarded me some information that it could have had a geological source, sinkholes that are prevalent in Thunder Bay. One reason that they call it Thunder Bay is old Indian legends, the atmospheric things like the Seneca guns. But the spokesman from NOAA told me that there's no way that those sinkholes could have caused this noise. And there is a fault line that runs right underneath Alpena, but the USGS said that no earthquakes either. So whatever this is, it is a complete and total mystery. But you guys know me. I'm going to keep digging until I get to the truth. Tim, thank you very much for being on The Truth is Viral. I appreciate it, bro. That's right. I was arrested when I attempted to interview the spokesman for the Alpena Regional Combat Training Center about the noise. She called me this morning and told me that the Air Force didn't have anything to do with it. She said that they had no planes in the air, much less planes that are going supersonic. And as far as they're concerned, it's a mystery. So I came to the base this morning, this afternoon actually, and attempted to get that comment on tape. I drove up to the gate, presented my ID, just as I had done during Desert Storm. When the bases were on high security alert, I was in charge of Fort Carson, NORAD, Peterson Air Force Base. I never had any problem getting on the bases. All I had to do was present my ID and go speak with the press information officer. Well, I drove up to the gate, I presented my ID, and the guard said, "Mr. Powell, just park over there, will you please?" So I did, and I went up to the guard shack, and next thing I know, I'm in handcuffs, surrounded by Air Force security and deputy sheriffs with M16s. Apparently, I'm not allowed on any military installation in the United States. Apparently, I'm on a list. That's not to be unexpected, I suppose, when you consider the things that I've said about the government and President Obama. But you know what? If they want to stop me from getting to the truth, they're going to have to put a bullet in my head. And here's a sheriff right now. Let's see how this goes. I'm standing on a public thoroughfare, not doing a doggone thing.